Welcome to Down Earth Astrology and Primal Girl Wellness. This is Miss Jenny, and I am your very confused astrologer. So apparently there are varying reports about what time the King Charles III was officially proclaimed or ascended the throne in the formal sense of the word. Uh, Leave it to Mercury retrograde. You get even the journalist reports a little conflicting. And it's not just him. I've seen it in a couple of other reports. There was the jogger in Tennessee who was abducted and killed. And there were conflicting reports about where her body was found from journalists who should be uh, a lot more responsible about their reporting than I am. So it is Mercury retrograde, and that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Okay, so here we go. So I need to make a couple of corrections, and then we're going to really get into. Now I have to really get into these charts more thoroughly. So the official reported time for the formal ceremony and proclamation that Charles is now King Charles III. The most final report I've seen was for 10 a.m. in London, England. So that is the chart that I'm going to use for his secondary chart as the new king in his rulership and his reign. And I'm here to tell you, I like this chart a lot less. I'm going to make this literally a very, very fast video. So here's what we have with 10 a.m. Saturday the 10th, or the September 10th rather, in London, England. We have 24 Libra rising, which is a fixed star Arcturus, which is a positive, protective fixed star, but it's not enough to overcome the rest of the chart. The chart ruler, or the ruler for King Charles, becomes Venus, which is in its fall in Virgo. It's a weak, uncomfortable position for Venus to be in. It's great for some things, not so great for the others. For somebody who needs to be the charismatic face of a nation, in a leadership role, your chart ruler being in its fall is not helpful. Now, let's add to the fact that this Venus in this chart squares that Mars and Gemini. We talked about this in the other chart. Remember, the planets aren't going to change position in terms of their aspect to each other. They're just going to change positions in terms of houses, and the angle is going to change. So that problematic Venus-Mars square, with him being under attack and called on for his words when he should probably know better and keep quiet, is still there and operative. Although with his chart ruling the 11th house and Mars in the 8th, this may have more to do with economics and financial loans with other countries or financial support, and certainly the community at large. So this doesn't put him in a real strong position with this Libra rising chart. Not at all. It actually makes things a lot worse. The other thing is that the sun, which also rules him, and it rules the midhaven, because we now have Leo on the midhaven ruling his leadership of the country. It is now, we know it's part of this full moon, but it is officially ruling the angles. And that full moon is minutes apart, which means that this, whatever's going to be expected from him and problems and, the thumbprint or signature of his rulership, we're going to see come into effect within weeks. Weeks, I tell you, maybe months. But literally, just as soon as he's taken the throne, the problems are coming, and it's all going to come to a huge climactic head almost instantly. This is not what I wanted to hear, because while a full moon is not necessarily problematic, this full moon involves Neptune shortly behind it, probably about 6 months, I'm guessing. So within weeks, or short months, we should see whatever is going to be the big problem with his reign as King Charles III. It's going to come to a head. And within 6 months-ish, I'm going to say 6 months, could be 6 years, but I'm going to say 6 months, we're looking at the possibility of some type of scandal or literally losing solid ground beneath your feet. We're not okay with that either. Now, the thing I wanted to mention, which also makes me not like this chart even more, his chart ruler is Venus, because Libra rises on the chart. Aries rules his enemies and his partnerships, right? And Venus and Mars rules that, and Venus and Mars are in square with each other. So whoever the throne is partnered with, whether it's parliament or other countries, or like pick thing, right? It's going to be problematic. And could be detrimental in terms of him being effective or getting anything done. And also the 7th house rules the marriage partner. Part of fortune is there. So again, there's some protection and benefit. I mean, it's not all horrible, but it's certainly not as easy as we would like this to be. So Camilla could easily be represented by Mars and Gemini in that 8th house, squaring his Venus and Virgo. So there may be some stuff coming up within, again, weeks or months that could be scandalous, but specifically associated or connected to her. So I'm gonna. Wow, I don't like this new chart using the 10 a.m. time. And again, Mercury's retrograde, so there's a couple different times floating around as far as when this is official. But I will get into this more thoroughly because now I have to. Damn it. And we'll take a closer look at this chart along with his chart and the chart for the European Union, the EU, for the coming weeks and months ahead. All right, so I wanted to post that so you guys knew what was going on because clearly there's a discrepancy. But I'll stick with my original chart, even if the time is off, because I like mine better. All right, talk to you guys soon. Bye.